Some people mistakenly approach science as if everything is known, and that science is an exercise in memorizing what a textbook says or what others have published, and then spitting that information back. But science is a process of knowing. It has been going on for a long time. And so in the past, people had mistaken ideas about how the natural world worked. For most of human history, the idea of spontaneous generation prevailed, in which people felt that little animals, algae, molds, etc., would simply pop into being from the non living world, that dirt and rock and water and garbage could give forth life. For a long time, many felt that animals like giants and dragons and unicorns and others existed. Many felt that extinction was impossible, and so thus every animal or organism which had ever existed still existed, and the loss of any one would be impossible. Many held that all modern organisms appeared suddenly at the beginning of life very recently. All of these ideas have been shown to be false given our study of the natural world. And we continue to correct mistakes. So science does not yet know everything, and many of the conclusions which we think are true may subsequently been shown to be false, which is why it is so important that the next generation learn to think scientifically and answer these questions scientifically, because there is more yet to know. And the next generation will have to correct the mistakes and the misunderstandings of this current generation. So, for example, the temperatures are currently increasing, and climate change is modifying weather patterns, amounts of rainfall, etc. What effects will that have on life on Earth? The answer is we don't know. And it will mean that the next generation of students will have to, include those who take it upon themselves to study this scientifically, to answer these questions. Will this affect distribution of species? Will it affect coral reefs? And will that then affect marine ecosystems? Will this make diseases more easy to spread? How will that affect the distribution of organisms? We already live in a world where so many animals are endangered. Will they recover? Will climate change and decreasing habitat cause their populations to be lost? And then, as surprising as it is, there are so many new species being discovered, even in areas where humans live with reasonable abundance. And of the species that we know, we often don't know that much about them. What are they eating? What food chains do they participate in? And so science is a way of learning about the natural world. Just as in the past, not everything was known, and that some of the ideas which were held were actually false, which needed to be corrected. That is still the case. And given the rate of change, the great loss of species and extinction, given the great effects of climate change, then a scientific study of the world in today's biology students will be required, because these students literally represent the scientists of tomorrow, which will make those new discoveries and correct the misunderstandings and the incompletely correct conclusions which we have today.